Hi everyone, welcome to Straight from the Divine Tarot. We're Tuesday, August 26, 2025, and we're doing a general collective reading. You can switch the genders and the roles as you need to throughout the read. Go right ahead. Please use your higher wisdom and discernment when you're listening to these types of readings, because they're not personalized readings, okay? Only take what applies and toss the rest. Thank you for being here. I love you guys so very much. I really do. See where we're going to go with this one now. Spirit guides, guardian angels, ancestors, the white light, spiritual awakening. You are someone else, overarching energy. And it's not easy, okay? When you're going through stuff like that. You're basically meeting yourself, your shadow. You're realizing the truth. The message is coming that you do not want to hear. So in the last two reads I did, it has something to do with an ex and friends and maybe some family that were coming up after you for some sort of money, some sort of gain to make you look bad. They thought it was funny. You don't want to hear this message, or they don't. You're very wise. Owls represent wisdom as well as death. Something's over. This owl's looking like, are you nuts? Opportunities in the palm of your hand. Now you're dealing with opportunists or new opportunities coming your way, thanks to your wisdom, or ending a cycle that wasn't for you. You've elevated and ascended 333. Your prayers have been heard. There could have been a third party who was an opportunist, and remember, a third party could be love, it could be addictions, could be work, could be anything. You could be an ascendant master as well, or the ascendant master is working with you. Somebody's getting a timeout. It's over. Time out. I don't know. Some of these people need to give their heads a shake. Spiritual awakening. Or they're coming towards you to say they had a spiritual awakening based off of the other reads. They're going to tell you they've changed. There's not. They haven't changed. They don't plan on it. Spiritual awakening. Where are we going with this, please? What's the message, please, Spirit? Thank you. Kick to the curb. Bye-bye. So their third party kicked them to the curb, or the third party got kicked to the curb, or you did. Okay? Something to do with a pregnancy test, unsure, pregnancy scare, positive or negative. Someone's expecting a new beginning. Maybe the pregnancy is true, maybe it's false, maybe the father is, the paternity is an issue. I don't know. Maybe they were using pregnancy as a way to guarantee some sort of stability in their lives, making babies for a paycheck, right? Someone's putting on a show here. It's a bugaboo. Somebody got played. Manipulation, lies, and control. Divorce or separation, breaking a contract. It doesn't have to be a divorce. One of the reads, I think it was the second one, there could have been a false marriage here. Somebody could have used your name coming after your inheritance and or life insurance, or they placed insurance on you. They wanted something from you. Smeck shop. Not that. Maybe somebody frequents a smeck shop. Maybe they bought a smeck shop using your credit. That came up too. Credit, good or bad. Or this is just somebody that's got too much smecks on the brain. Someone's a hater. They brought a lot of drama to their world and other people's. This is action time now. Could be on the news, or somebody filmed them doing something. Red lipstick stains. Very promiscuous. There we go. Sleeps around, a hot free-for-all. Sleeps with your man or your woman. Someone's trying to burn evidence or delete evidence so they can run away from this private relationship. They didn't want anybody to know about this, to go towards a love story, or they kept your relationship private because they were sleeping around. Love story, once upon a time. Someone's tired of the drama. Again, they got recorded doing something here. Announcement, expression, revealing. Something to do with schmecks, and it's game over for them. They know they effed up. They made some bad choices. They want to set the record straight with you. They were keeping a secret, or keeping you a secret, and they got caught up, finding evidence, getting caught and cheating. You're too emotionally intelligent to fall for this. You already know the tea, and they tried to destroy you, and in doing so, they destroyed themselves, shattered, broken, and effed up. Yeah, it was a copycat, a doppelganger, maybe on film, trying to impersonate you. Grab some popcorn. It's time to watch them. Somebody's got anger issues here, going towards bankruptcy. You're trying to fulfill a fantasy with their fake friends. Now they're going through a depression. They're insecure. Everything's falling apart in their lives. And they don't want to hear it. You're being protected here. Sexual protection. Or they have to wear sexual protection and they don't want to hear it. This person's very greedy and selfish. You know, you're an adult. You should know what actions you have to take to make babies. You should know about STDs. You know what I mean? Whoever this is. This third party tried to cloak themselves in your energy and you in theirs, maybe. Or maybe they claimed you got pregnant to use somebody. Bull crap. You're on your life purpose. They targeted you. New ideas and inspirations will guide you to your divine calling. What is meant for you will stay as long as you keep pushing forward. If you stagnate or go back, it's not going to be there. I mean, it's always going to be there for once you do the work when you're ready, but when you ask for what you need, things will align to make your vision real. So ever since you kicked them to the curb, things are looking up. Okay? It's a small world. It's something to do with online. Harmful gossip at work, telecommuting, on the go, new adventures, and reputation. So they try to give you a bad reputation or they ruin theirs. Online, maybe. It's a small world. Maybe you're going to bump into people that know them and they're going to talk about them. I don't know. You're totally supported by the angels. You have angelic help here. Now's the time to trust the universe, knowing you will be provided for. A career or blessing is lining up for you, so stay positive and trust. Pay attention to the signs your angels are sending you right now. You're starting over, but not from scratch. You're starting from experience. Something new is getting ready to hatch here. Look for new opportunities. Let go and move on. Forge ahead. Fresh vision and feather. Congratulations. Abundance, easy money, divine intervention, career. You're a light worker. So you're going to be working in that capacity somehow, some way. Air-related, undecided, and travel. So maybe you're going to be traveling as well. Maybe you're feeling undecided right now. I don't know. It's a tough choice, or it's been a tough choice. But when you see what they've been doing and saying behind your back and what they were wishing upon you, in the second read, even spell work came out, or they claimed you were doing spell work and they sicked people on you. I don't know. It's a tough choice. Unsure what to do next. Choosing between evils. Get advice and wait for clarity. This person was doing it. They weren't doing anything for you. I think it was more or less this person. They're stuck between two evils. Could be a money manager, you or someone else. This card may indicate a giant leap forward in your career or finances. Consider careers in money management, banking, accounting, and or any field in finance. You can look forward to a happy financial outcome. You know, it's never that easy making a choice. But once you make it, there's nothing that's going to hold you back from what's rightfully yours or hold you back from moving forward. Someone's trying to escape something, running away from work, can't handle the pressure, short breaks, and hang in there. Something's going slow-mo right now. They're trying to slow something down. You're making slow progress, but you're getting there. So they're trying to slow you down somehow, some way. Remember, slow and steady work leads to sustainable success. This could have something to do with your work. Stop putting things off for later. It's time to act now. You have a protective shell. And I think that's a protective shell. You're being protected by the ones with the wings here. It's a broken dream. They want to make sure you never got your dreams. Somebody's having a meltdown. Somebody from your past. They diluted the truth, diluted something. Trouble with cash flow, not finding opportunities, embrace radical change, depleted. These two are always coming out side by side. Feeling financially drained, out of viable options to recharge and regroup. They were doing stuff half-heartedly. They're never satisfied or fulfilled. They're always thirsting for more. Not really in what you do, into what they do. No motivation to change. Find your joy. Invest in yourself. Not paid enough for your work. Wanting to do other things, other options, and seek higher pay. Now, this person, obviously, maybe their work is going from person to person and, you know, ripping people off and defrauding them and using them. I don't know. At the end of the day, I don't care what they're thinking and what, as long as they're stopped in their tracks, as long as they have to answer for what they've done. So you kind of know what your life purpose is if you're not already in it. Where are we going with this? They were targeting you to get you off your life purpose. One more, please, Spirit. Wearing a mask. Deception, pretending inconstancy. Somebody could have been impersonating you or trying to. Or just wearing a mask. False promises here. Responsible, confirmation, and assurance. They could be engaged, or somebody you were engaged with, or while you were with them, married, they got engaged to somebody else. Yeah, somebody they were having risky dalliances with. Unprotected sexual disease, partner to partner, unsafe decisions. They could have wound up with something like that, or said you gave it to them. Something to do with your friend. It could be one of your friends or one of their friends they're sleeping with. They're overloaded with something, assessment, obligation, and overwhelmed. It's all lust, right? Forbidden fruit, non-committal, sexual energy, and tragedy. It's a lot of conflict here. Clashing differences, incompatible and irreconcilable. So if they tried to make it look like you did a smex tape or something like that with a doppelganger, they see the difference. This is not you. There's irreconcilable differences here. You're never going to go back to these people, whether it's friend, love, family, or business. Bad influences, again. Others involved, third parties, intervention, manipulation. This is revenge, retaliation, plotting, payback, punishing, getting even. These cards they're bullying you. So they got other people to bully you out of revenge, embarrassment, gossip, and unwillingness. Or this is what they're going through right now. Yeah, your family. Your family was bullying you, or somebody you have a family with, or somebody else's family, right? Bond, home, and background. So your family was in the background, influencing this, collaborating with these people to do this against you. Online. Maybe if you work online, they're affecting your numbers or your business and or your sales, depending on what you do. They wanted you homeless. They said you were homeless. They're facing homelessness. Yeah, something stopped here. Wow. They're scared. Their back is against the wall. Depression, phobia, paranoid, frozen. Not speaking, stonewall, not taking. So they thought that if they stopped talking to you, you'd be homeless. They never helped you in life. Anyways, you sound like you were the one doing everything. They wanted you afraid and lonely, frozen out, right? They stonewalled you. And they were using your energy. You're at somebody's muse here, inspired by you, listening to music, emotional bond and song lyrics. Something to do with real estate and property. They married somebody, a realtor, or they are, or you are, or they married somebody for stability at home. They were doing something on schedule, and I was picking this up the other day. So if they did any mortgage fraud or ID fraud or anything, credit fraud, they needed to pay their mortgage on time every month. As long as they did this, they could carry on, right? That was their plan. They organized this management. So somebody in real estate was working with them. Could be a money manager as well, working with them. They dropped. They didn't make a payment. Something's went haywire. They lost their job, or it's not working out to their advantage. Time is up for these people. You're right on schedule here. Maybe there's a marriage they planned. There's a natural disaster. Risk, frustration, and survival. They're stressed out. They were doing magic here against you. Ceremony, mystery, magic. You're getting good news. A message. You are very blessed. You're being blessed here. Congratulations. You could be a card reader or somebody else's. You're watching tarot. You're definitely here watching. This is fated. They're going down memory lane, having nostalgic memories. Hoping maybe they're sending you memories or something like that. They're hoping to play Puppet Master once again. Somebody's pulling the strings here. Dictatorship, domination, and reluctance. And a love connection here. Unconditional compassion, genuine union. You could be an introvert, or you keep your privacy intact by keeping it separate if you are online. This is an online community. You're sleeping nicely at night, and they're going to jail, or they're being confined here. Captivity, tolerance, and unfreedom. They're feeling trapped. They're going to jail. Their strategy was to lock you up, maybe. They were plotting and planning, but you predicted what was happening here. You could be a mind reader, or they think you are a mind reader. These types of people are not that hard to fucking figure out at the end of the day. Once you clock them, yeah, they're going through a nightmare. They're suffering. They're in the dark here. They try to persecute you. It turns out they're being persecuted. If they summoned anything, they're being hounded here. Might have some nightmares. Try to sacrifice you. 75 is 12. They're trying to stall something. Try to sacrifice a sweetheart. So there could be a pregnancy here. Someone's going through withdrawals, or people are withdrawing from this. It's quit, awakening, rejection. They're obsessed with you, or obsessed with hurting you, or getting what it is they want. Holding on, clinging, can't let go, anxiety, denial. They're in denial. They're going to be denied here. Contradicting, refusal, dismissal, not facing reality. And they're going to be facing time here. Needing time. Now is not the time. Time will bring unexpected changes. So it's been a long time coming, I heard. So during this time, you worked on yourself. You were very patient. You've elevated and ascended. You see it for what it is. That's why there was a lull in between, okay? Because you needed to heal. You needed to work on yourself. And you did. I hate to think of the ones that don't work on themselves, because at the end of the day, you gotta wait longer. If you're anything like me, I'm stubborn, I'm willful. I've had to learn my lessons more than once, okay? But I learned I did eventually. But if I had learned these lessons earlier on, maybe this would have, I would have been healing a lot earlier in life, maybe experiencing more in life. But hey, it is what it is. We're always where we're supposed to be at any given time. Spiritual awakening, kick to the curb, life purpose, and mask. So they might come towards you saying, I've had a spiritual awakening. I now know you're my person. I now know you and I have to get on our life purpose. We have to work together. Bullshit. You see it for what it is. Anybody that treats you like this, I promise I won't do anything else. Bullshit. They have their fingers crossed behind their back. You're still messing about with other people, or have intentions of messing about with other people, but making you pay. Okay? Yeah. They did too much. They wanted to take you out. They were plotting and planning. This was a collaboration, or this is a contract on a live certificate. You know what I'm saying? They want your help now? I don't think so. They were all working together to do this. Let them all go down. Thank you, Spirit. Peeping their game. Seeing through the illusions, breaking free, distancing and detaching. You're not karmic, you're not toxic. They can't bind themselves to you or bind you to anything else. It is what it is. A non-binding contract. If it is a marriage and you're already married to this person, or you're already married, I don't know. Ooh, they're scared. Strength in reverse. They lost control of a situation. They had no integrity, loyalty, or honesty. They're going to have to humble themselves. They can't dominate you. They're feeling weak. Yeah. Seeing clearly what's going on. They're getting let go. There's no mental conflict. There's no denial. There's no more stalemate. They're scared. They're going to get let go. They're heartbroken. People are seeing exactly what was going on here. They're heartbroken. They could see you online and or ending a cycle to begin a new one. Someone's traveling and or moving. You're divinely protected. This is victory as well. This could be your family, children, siblings, cousins, or a past life soulmate. You're finally getting your flowers potentially. You healed your inner childhood wounds. You're ending a cycle. You're going into a new destined cycle. You're finally getting your flowers. You're innocent. Something to do with children or your past. This is happening right now. They were lying, cheating. In the past, they lied, cheated, and or stole. Or you could be the one that got away and they're having nostalgic memories. They're trying to strategize a way to escape a situation. So they lied about you. They bore false witness or perjured themselves, either in court or on important papers. They're being exposed as public humiliation. This is a fail. This is not a victory. They could be hiding from the public, and or they're on the down low. They were paid or getting paid. Or they were getting paid or paying others to do something against you. Yeah, to sacrifice you, to keep you stuck and struggling. To keep you stuck, keep you waiting. They were giving and receiving with others, prioritizing others. Or now that everything's coming out in the open, you're quite balanced here. They're doing business, some sort of business to keep you stuck. They're trying to slow down your money, your job. This is success. You put a lot of effort into something. mastered your emotions and your craft and whatever it is that you work in. This is diligently working hard here, putting a lot of effort into a situation. Successful. A lot of discipline. They're sinking here. I don't want to look at things from a different perspective. You're the Empress, Divine Feminine Energy. You mastered yourself here. You're very grounded. You're rooted wherever you are. This is unconditional love. You went through the highs and lows of each and every queen in the deck, learned your lessons and ascended, and you're displaying the finer qualities of each queen in the deck and then some. It's the most powerful feminine energy in the deck. It could be a male in this energy too, or this is a pregnancy. The worst has happened. This is a nightmare, or they're going to try to justify and rationalize what they've done, or you have no worries. You're sleeping soundly at night. You're at peace. You've healed. Or the worst has happened and they got to put something to rest with you. They're praying, they're strategizing, contemplating. They could be couch surfing right now. They broke their own heart here, okay? They did. The 3 swords, intrusive thoughts, 1 sword beneath. So they've been sitting on the truth for a very long time. You don't want to worry. You don't want this. Somebody's scared, or this is some sort of mental... they stole money. They're out of money. Missed opportunity. They can't make a payment. They missed a payment. This is not their blessing to have. Yeah, they scapegoated you. They're not happy ending a family or a group. This is a gold digger, a cloud chaser. Very materialistic and greedy and selfish and lazy, codependent, clingy. Very jealous of you, unstable. They don't know their value or their worth. Greedy family, willing to do whatever it takes to win at any cost. But this was born out of ego, jealousy, pettiness, and cruelty. And a lot of people got abused here. Everybody working with them are taking on losses, walking away. This is a gold digger and a cloud chaser. They wanted your destiny, or this is change. You're going into a new destined cycle. You're very fortunate, by the way. Somebody was a gambler here. Playing roulette with lives. So it could be a gambler too. Somebody lied. There's been no truth or clarity, no communication. This is fated, by the way. This is a warlock or a poser or a player. Obviously, if it's a warlock, it's a male, but if it's a poser or a player, it could be male or female. Somebody didn't take the noble approach. It's all about ego and arrogance and just an overblown sense of pride here in themselves. It's a follower, not a leader. They're angry. They bit off more than they can chew. Yeah. They were jealous of you. They abused you. They lied. They spread rumor, gossip, and slander. They were petty and cruel. They could be stalking and harassing you. This is news they don't want to hear, or news other people don't want to hear, or you don't want to hear. Everybody's mad at them. They're fighting. Yeah, this is no communication. This is bad news. Somebody lied. They threw rocks and hit hands. This is 2 pages, by the way. It could be 2 younger persons or 1. Anyways, it doesn't have to be, but this is somebody that lies. They feel entitled. This is a drama starter, right? They're very juvenile, infantile. Or they lied about the loss of a child. Lied about communication. Bad news. This is somebody that always needs outside validation. They have no inspiration. They have no creativity, so they steal from others, right? Their ideas, they steal from others, period. Whether it's an idea or not. Yeah, something, it could be authorities coming through. They lied about traveling and or moving or a car. You overcame. This is bad news for them. You overcame. You persevered. You put up boundaries. You're moving forward no matter what. That you remained emotionally balanced, stable, mature, loving, kind, nurturing, and sweet. Male or female. You're very balanced emotionally. And you're very generous of spirit. This is unconditional love. It could be a mother. You could be a mother or somebody else's. It doesn't have to be. It could be male in this energy. You're highly intuitive and psychic. It's the end of the race. It was a race that you weren't even aware that you were in some sort of competition. Kind of feels like somebody wants to get you first with some form of truth. It won't be the whole truth, but to kind of sugarcoat their part in it, They want to get you before anybody else does. Because you are a forgiving sort, right? And that's what they're bargaining on. Yeah, this is a karmic. False contract, all one-sided. You parted ways with these karmics, or this karmic. They didn't use their higher wisdom, and their poor decisions are bringing them bad consequences here. It's a lesson for sure. No harmony. No harmony at all. I hear double crossed. So somebody double crossed another here. Somebody's low vibing, and they're trying to give off the impression that they're not. That could be it too. Yeah, somebody's involved with corruption. They wanted power and control over you. They gave their power away the minute they did this. They bent to public pressure, meaning they went along to get along. They knew it was wrong, but they did it anyways. It really had to do with their peers and whoever they're surrounded by. It was all for an image here. This is a bully and a tyrant. They had no authority, lost authority, or abused their authority. A warlock, committing crimes, could be a crooked judge, leader, or spiritual leader. They have no faith. This is a bogus contract, a divorce or separation. Corruption, giving out very bad advice, unwise counsel. Corruption, you could be on a platform, or they want you off a platform. This is corrupt. Whatever this is, they want power and control over you. Earth angel. Or they're going through some sort of separation or something. They need to balance something out. You transmuted and alchemized, if it is, warlocks and witches. You're very balanced. You're very patient. You're divinely protected by the angels. You could be an earth angel. You're a healer. You're healthy. You're a teacher. You're inspirational. You're very fair. Yeah. They want you to compete with others. They got to balance something out with this group, this crowd. There's a lot of conflict going on here. They brought conflict into your life, but you're at peace. They got lots of conflict in their world. You could be at the focal point, at the center of this conflict they're experiencing, but you're at peace. You're busy doing what you're doing here. Pouring love into yourself and in everything and everyone that you're in contact with. Ooh, really? Okay. Somebody in the equation, because I'm looking at the beakers and them pouring, they could be, I don't want to say it unless I see it again. There's a lot of conflict, competition, drama, jealousy, strife, rivalry. They're trying to keep calm. You've been calm. You bring calm to a situation. They're really mentally conflicted. 5-5, that means profound change. Get ready for the unexpected. They want to bring more conflict into your world. They want you to compete. They want you to be one of their options. They want to come back in from out of the cold, or this is financial ruin, spiritual jail for the whole crowd. They need to balance this out. It's ruin. Somebody's health could be waning as well. You found your confidence, though. Yeah, they're not getting away with this. They can't escape. They're in trouble. They're in hot water. 6 of Swords, reverse. They don't want you traveling. They don't want you moving forward in life. They want to come with a cup of love here. That was their plan. You're being supported. I don't know. Your ships are coming in. So they want to come back into your energy because your ships are coming in. Give me a break. You see it for whatever it is. You foresaw this. Yeah, you got to peep their game. You saw through the illusions and broke free. They're not getting away with this at all. You have no addictions, obsessions, codependency issues. It's a non-binding contract where they can't bind you. It's a tower moment. People are trying to distance themselves and detach from the situation. It was a poor investment. You get what you give here, okay? They don't have all the... Maybe they don't have all of the ID and or paperwork or whatever, the resources they need to continue pulling this off. They misappropriated funds. They spent a lot of money on bull crap, and now they have to relocate. Yeah, false allegations and accusations, right? There's an attack. Spent a lot of money in trying to attack you. They're feeling overwhelmed, defeated. They can no longer block you or be a gatekeeper in your life. You're not fighting them. You're not competing. Yeah, they're watching you from afar. You made your decision. They picked the path that they wanted to go on, right? They're watching you from afar. You're still moving forward. They could be making plans here. They could have went to the crossroads. And they had no protection. No defense against, you know, evil entities and stuff that they're dealing with. Whoever this is. They can't achieve their goals. Yeah, they're unstable. For sure, this was unfair. They wanted to make you look unstable, too, if this resonates. They're in debt. They're borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. They thought they'd make a profit off of this. That's a loss. They can't play games anymore. It's about ready to explode in their face. They were greedy and selfish, and they were holding back from you or trying to hold you back from something. They don't want to let go. It doesn't belong to them. They want power. They want control. They want protection now. Somebody's very selfish. Gaslighting here. There's an attack. Something's happening quickly. They want protection from these attacks that they let out. This could be a raid, police raid. Somebody's angry. The truth is out now. It could be fast communication, fast action. People are definitely parting ways here. Lack of trust. Don't see eye to eye. Can't go any further than this. It's a parting of ways. Could be a karmic soul tie as well. Somebody's on their own. They're better off on their own. There's no harmony here. Yeah. With this hoe bag. Male or female Queen of Wands who's very jealous, abusive, and a bully. Always angry. The type that's always angry. They can never smile or be happy for anybody else. They were doing magic or whoring around. They were reckless, careless, and foolish. They took unnecessary risks. Naive and gullible, maybe. No new beginnings. They're trying to hold you back, impersonate you, forge your signature. They felt entitled to whatever this was, stealing your work ideas or achievements, or somebody's a big bully here, okay? They're very abusive, combative, argumentative, in your face. They think their shit doesn't stink. This is a poser, a player. They just call it in. They're holding back any kind of love or emotions here, holding back a new beginning or any kind of emotional support or stability. But you love yourself. They're angry. This is a self-love, new love, true love. They're in their emotions. They have to cut their losses. They want to come back? I don't think so. They knew it was a losing proposition. They wanted you to come back? I don't think so. It's a losing proposition. They did it anyways. They're so emotionally invested. They're refusing to move on. They're digging in their heels. Okay. Why is Eight of Cups in reverse? Okay. Lots of lies, illusions, deception, and manipulation. They're in their emotions. There's a lot of confusion here. They're hiding a lot. Could be somebody that's in their bed now, going through some sort of depression or illness. Could be having nightmares as well. You have high intuition. They were plotting and planning. They could be traveling or moving around, dealing with organized crime, plotting and planning to get this mob to turn on you. Or this is them. You foresaw, this is you. You foresaw what they were going to do. You have like 3 ships here coming in. You have a choice. You have options in life, and you know your options aren't behind you. You put it all behind you. You knew they wanted to level up off of you secretly, or they were leveling up off of you. But you're on the rise now. Something to do with analytics or some sort of... somebody's finding out there's some sort of information. You're not looking back. You're moving forward. You're prepared or preparing for something. Somebody at a distance. Yeah, this is corruption. They could be involved with trafficking. This is a get-rich-quick scheme, money-motivated, bully, corrupt, spendthrift, lazy, codependent, clingy, and very jealous. Yeah, you can't trust this person. They love to spend money, other people's money. That was their wish fulfillment, right? They were quite satisfied in being the puppet master. They were jealous of your wish fulfillment. Or they're jealous because you are a wish fulfillment, or you're coming into wish fulfillment. I don't know. They were playing puppet master here, pulling some strings. They had somebody pulling strings for them. But you notice in this deck, I never noticed this before until now. Puppet Master's playing these two. And then this puppet master is being puppeted by somebody else. Probably Ostanky. You know what I mean? Poor judgment. Judgment's gone against them. The divine has made his decision here. Lack of awareness, acceptance, and accountability. They judged you, misjudged you harshly based off of lies. They're going to be judged harshly based off of the truth. They do not want to take accountability. There's no saving grace here, okay? No second chances. This is karma. If you're in a court of law, a judgment's gone against them. They got a lot of burdens here. You're very responsible. They're going to be held responsible. They got a lot of burdens. They're buckling underneath the weight of these burdens. They had a point to prove where you were concerned and a chip on their shoulder. This is a narcissist, sociopath, psychopath, pathological liar, user, abuser, cold, calculating, and cruel, male or female. Very abusive, very dangerous. They're not very smart. They have no authority or lost authority. And now they're feeling rejected and abandoned, feeling sorry for themselves, grieving and regretting. Having a pity party. She's got a suitcase trailing behind her. Maybe this person. Oh no, that's somebody else's suitcase. I don't know. Their head's barely above water here. It's a backfire. Bad news. No movement forward. They try to stop your movement forward. There's been no communication. They're trying to block this queen, the truth from coming out. They were doing magic. They were shit talking. This was lack of awareness. Didn't use their intuition. This is unwise counsel. It's all blowing up in their faces. The truth is coming out. They could have said you were loosey-goosey. Yeah, that you're emotionally and mentally unstable. They're going through a dark night of the soul, maybe. If they send any depression spells, it's with them. They wanted to take your place on this pedestal. It's not going to happen. They wanted to cut you down right at the knees. It's not going to happen. They're going through a dark night of the soul. You were able to put your past hurts behind you because you spoke the truth here. You're not grieving. You're not regretting anything. Okay, because you knew you had to go through this to get into your North Node. You're in your North Node. Wish fulfillment. This is divine intervention, divine protection as well. It can be out in the public eye. Your wishes are being granted. Your prayers have been heard. You have a great deal of faith. They are praying. I don't know what they're praying for, but somebody could be using your chart against you or somebody else's chart. Yeah, the mob's turned on them. Could be organized crime or just the people they were working with. They try to turn people against you, or now that whether they did or not, I'm not sure, but now they turned against you, all because they were under some sort of magic, illusions, deception, corruption. They don't have all the resources they need. They didn't take action when they should have. This is somebody that's two-faced wearing a mask. They didn't, Could be you or someone else, male or female. This is a speaker of sorts. You spoke your truth, set boundaries, cut them out. You spoke your truth or somebody else's. It could be law and order, it could be doctors, it could be anybody professional. If it's, you or someone else. Spiritual royalty, she's wearing ermine on her robe. You've been crowned. You've gone through the highs and lows of life. You already know what's what. You've already grieved over the situation. You're not going to do it again. Yeah, you have no worries. They can't restrict you any longer. They have to let something go or release something to you, removing all obstacles. They're not renting space in your head, okay? They were trying to examine you. Somebody might need surgery. Some sort of blockage here. Somebody's very paranoid. You overcame, persevered, put up some boundaries. This is barbed wire. This is like a prison guard. People are side-eyeing this person. Somebody feels gutted because you put up your boundaries. You fought many battles here. You're not afraid to fight for more. Someone's very defensive here because they stole money. They're blocked. This is family discord. They stole a lot of money. They're going to lose everything. No more long-term stability. Yeah, they're on their own, and or you're single, abundant, independent, self-sufficient, stable, and secure. They stole something from you, male or female. You could be an entrepreneur. You don't have to be. You're minding your own business. These people can't seem to do that. There does seem to be a gatekeeper or something like that. Ending a third-party situation, a collaboration, or it's a false contract. It's not their creations. Whatever they were trying to build, they can't because it's yours, right? Their plans are falling apart. Somebody's lazy. They don't want to put the work in and disrespectful. They can't be trusted. They intercepted your mail or your money, or they can't slow you down anymore. They're not to be trusted, okay? It's not their rite of passage. They can't come correct. They didn't pay you. They're unfaithful, irresponsible, immature. Can't rely on them. They're lazy. Non-committal, don't want to take accountability. This was an injustice to an innocent person. A scam artist, love bomber, casual hookups and or spell work, right? They didn't want you. They never supported you. They got an STD or claimed you did. They're being stopped. They're being stopped. No more passion opportunities, no growth or expansion. Somebody didn't take any action, and or they had said you had an STD. This was a betrayal, or they betrayed you. Now they have an STD. They have to go into recovery. The worst is over. This is ending a cycle. They spread egregious gossip. They're parting ways with a third-party friend group, cult, coven, secret society. The party's over. There's no more celebrating here. There will be no reconciling. They had to clean up their own mess here. Yeah. They're resisting change. This is somebody that doesn't want change. This is a permanent, profound ending or loss for them. It's getting stale. It's getting old. Gathering some information. Learning something here. They're finding out what's been... Maybe they projected so much garbage onto you. People thought you were that way, but they never really took a good look as to who you truly are. Now they were taking chipping away at you. They finally see who you truly are. It's a work of artist. What's the word I'm looking for? I can't even think. A work of art. This could be a younger person or divination. You chip away at something, you're able to get down to the nitty gritty here. It could be a payment of some sort. 7 of Cups. All that glitters isn't gold. Running out of options. No more confusion. This is all illusion. You're not confused. At all. They're running out of options. They don't have any viable options. They kept doing something over and over again. Now they're running out of options. Not happy. They're sick. Doing stuff in the dark. No trust. No happiness here. Could be something to do with paternity. Somebody's in their emotions. Maybe they're in their cups as well, drinking or doing other things. They were emotionally manipulative, emotionally unavailable and immature. Malicious, ruthless, just cruel, careless. Hiding and cloaking everything, trying to hide in your energy and hide you in theirs. They're going to claim they were unaware. They don't want to do the soul work. They don't want to be alone. They're in their feelings here. Hiding and cloaking they were married, or they stole a home, or trying to hide and cloak that you're stable and secure, or they're going to claim that they didn't know you were already married. I don't know. There's a celebration of some sort, or hiding and cloaking a family that they made elsewhere. Hiding and cloaking a home. Eventually it's going to blow up in their face. Okay, I don't know why they insist on hiding and cloaking even more. They don't want to be alone. Spiritual awakening. A message is coming that you do not want to hear, you or someone else. Something to do with a pregnancy test. Unsure, pregnancy scare, positive or negative. Someone's kicked to the curb. Maybe that's the way they figure they can come back in. Or maybe you were pregnant at the time you kicked in the curb. You can't afford this stress while you're pregnant, or someone else. I don't know. It's a small world. Harmful gossip at work, telecommuting, on the go, new adventures, and reputation. They try to wreck your reputation. They got a bad reputation, or they wound up with somebody with a bad reputation. You're on your life purpose, or maybe they're trying to wreck your reputation because you're on your life purpose. They don't want to see you there in your North Node. So new ideas and inspirations will guide you to your divine calling. What is meant for you will stay as long as you keep pushing forward. Do you understand that? As long as you keep healing, keep doing the right things, okay? Don't go back. Don't stagnate either. When you ask for what you need, things will align to make your vision real. So somebody was wearing a mask that made you all kinds of promises. Ain't going to happen. I think you see it for what it is. You don't need to go back there. I promise I won't do this ever again. Yeah, right. You're back in your energy. 5 minutes later, they're doing it all over again. What's the message here, please, Spirit? How are we ending this read for our beautiful collective at this moment? Thank you. Yin, feminine principle in reverse. So it's a high priestess in reverse. Truth is coming out. Somebody's talking. They were doing magic. This was unwise counsel. They were shit talking too, right? Chaos and conflict. So they brought this onto themselves. Could be a secret society, or they're getting the 3rd degree now, maybe by the authorities. I don't know, because they're dressed up as a giraffe on the outside, but on the inside it's a zebra wearing prison stripes here. It could be an ex-convict. You could be an ascended master, or they're working alongside with you. You've ascended for sure. And this is the masculine principle in reverse. Wow. They didn't want to ascend. You have. So this is the masculine principle. This is a lot of illusions, manipulation, magic, corruption, out of control, wearing a mask. And this is not going to be, they can't mend this. 7, it's not going to go anywhere. They don't want to take accountability. This is fated. 17, you're being protected. You're in your north node, they're in their south. So let them be there. 2 in reverse. To each his own, right? As long as they stop hurting other people. So it's where's the protection? Oh, here it is. Do you have trouble receiving? You stop the flow of abundance when you continually insist upon being the giver. You can't always lead, always give, always teach. You must be the student, the open vessel, and the one who receives the gift, gesture, or offer in equal measure. It's got to be reciprocal. Open up and let love, life, abundance, and spirit fill you without demand or expectation. Just receive the bounty that is yours. So whether you feel you deserve it or not, you do. Spirit's saying you do deserve it. Take what is yours and don't feel guilty about it, okay? If you're going to, that's how I felt too. I felt really bad in the beginning taking my ex-husband to court. And that's why I waited. He always said he was broke anyways, always lying. But I waited and waited to take him to court for child support. And I kind of felt bad. Like, oh my God, you won't have a choice. He's going to have to make do, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? We were suffering too. He was taking food out of my child's mouth. I had to do what I had to do. Too much of a soft heart doesn't help you. You have to accept what is rightfully yours, okay? That's just an example. But 33, chaos and conflict, disarray, being at cross purposes with another, the tension of opposites, the value of chaos before order. The opposing forces come together to create a turbulent atmosphere, but consider the value of chaos that serves you well as you become unmoored by it. So when there's chaos, we tend to lose people or situations in our lives that are not meant for us. Do you understand? It hurts like it does hurt. But we heal from it eventually, and we look back going, yeah, I'm glad I'm not still there. You know what I mean? It's for our betterment, believe it or not. These towers coming in, yeah, they're hard. Yeah, they're scary. But at the end of the day, they're meant to help us. Opposing forces, okay, but consider the value of chaos that serves you well as you become unmoored by it. Scattered to the winds, you leave behind the parts of yourself you no longer need and disperse seeds to reinvent yourself anew. Although the conflict appears to exist externally, its essence is also internal, projected outward and causing disarray. So because of what you're going through, these hardships and stuff, that is the only way we can really find out what we want in life and what we don't want in life. It's kind of like breaking your heart open. You can't get into an egg, the good stuff, without cracking it open. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's why when you crack an egg on the outside, it ceases life within. But if you crack an egg from the inside, like us, when we get heartbroken, new life begins. So this is to ensure your new life, right? To try to get you on track. You may find yourself at cross purposes with someone else facing a storm you feel you can't control. We can't control anything in this life. I hope you know that. Yet every storm passes and chaos leads to a reordering of things. Conflict provides a way to see more than one side of a situation. Look upon this as just a moment in time when you may need to take shelter and step away from the fray. You need to be quiet, need to heal. Get in touch with you, with God. Don't be too eager to fight. This is a time to understand rather than to be understood. You know how when somebody says something snarky online, as a content creator, I can, use this as an example. They insult you online, and in the beginning, you're in a hurry to defend yourself, blah, blah, blah. But why? You're just feeding into their bullshit. You understand? You're feeding them energy that you can use for yourself. It's not theirs. And that's why they do it. They're just petty. They're cruel. They have nothing better to do. I'm giving you this as an example, other than going into comment section and being a keyboard warrior. They don't do anything good in life. They probably sit there in their fucking dirty underwear for 2 weeks with shit stains coming up their back. And they think they're smart and all that in a bag of chips. If you only knew what they really were. You know what I'm saying? And brush their teeth in a month. Their mouth smells like a sewer. It is what it is. So the prosperity message, projects, don't fall for it, okay? Just do you. Ignore it if you can, please. I know it hurts. It's not pleasant, but 5 seconds after you, like hypothetically, if it's in a comment section, 5 seconds after you block them, it's forgotten. I do take screenshots of all of it though, because I've started a profile or a file on these idiots, false profiles and stuff, right? At the end of the day, they're going to get cut out. I was very diligent in taking their IP addresses and everything they've said, even their threats, everything. Projects, partnerships, and all matters of relating to your business are out of the obstacle phase and on to the make it happen phase, quote unquote. So something's going to turn around for you. Now's the time to stake your claim and get things done. While you can expect to be busier than usual, oh no, sorry. That's the prosperity. Protection message. Be mindful of the tendency towards impulsive action, overconfidence, and aggressive behavior. Think before you act. Basically what I was saying, right? Don't lash out. Don't go toe-to-toe with them. They're not worth it. Lest you find yourself in a situation that will lead to uncomfortable consequences. They want to trip you up. They want a reason to either call the cops on you, destroy your business, destroy your life, or sue you, right? Or to prove every false narrative they said about you was right. So don't fall for it. Be sure you really want what you're chasing after, because you might be sorry when you get it. The appearance of this card isn't cause for fear, for life is all about learning lessons. Practice temperance, diplomacy, and thoughtful consideration before making a move. And that could be for them, okay? There seems to be a male and a female, or whatever, involved. 2 people maybe, and you're in the middle of this, elevated. And they're hitting you from both sides, but you've elevated. Bye. They're trying to be somebody they're not. You obviously, they're trying to convince people you're not what you say you are, who you are. That's just too bad. Let's get some of these tea leaves. Let's end it with these fake and phony people. Thank you, Spirit. Fan. They're really a top fan, okay? Thank you for being a super fan. Romance, celebration, and party. Fan in the flames, right? Wreath. Sorrow over a loss. Forest, muddled, unclear thinking. They can't see the forest through the trees. Beetle. Good fortune. They don't know how you're still stable, how you're still going. Beetles, scarabs are very, very fortunate. They're good luck. You know what I mean? Something to do with marriage. So they thought they'd marry you or pretend they were married to you to get something from you. You could have been married to this person. Now they're realizing it was spiritual love here. Lily, this is a peace lily. You brought them peace while you were with them. It doesn't have to be an actual marriage, but it could very well be. Mountain, major challenge to overcome. You did it peacefully. A lot of spiritual love here. Nope. Temptation will test you. It tested them. Butterfly, change for the better. So somebody's easily tempted. It's a broken ring, marriage, commitment, and or it's a broken crime ring. Parting of the ways in either romance or business. Vulture, depression, anxiety, worry that someone is against you. These are vultures circling, waiting to get what they could off of you. Carry on. You know what I mean? Older woman, dealings a relationship with an older woman, you or them. Vase, secret admirer. Mountain road, you are on the road to success. You've overcome your hardships. Hat, you will be playing a different role. Somebody wanted to play your role. Rooster, an arrogant, boastful person you should not cross. They wanted to play you with their mommy, I hear. Oh, okay. Turkey, someone's behaving stupidly. Tent, temporary situation. So whatever they were able to gain out of the situation was temporary. They may be getting kicked out and have to live in a tent. Or just know that whatever they did to you was only temporary. I think you already know that. Dog, close up. Pleasure with a close friend. That could be one of your friends, their friends, I don't know. Key, successful outcome to your problems. You hold the key. You could be a high priest or priestess. Dogs getting together with friends. There's going to be an announcement. Axe, forces working against you. Hand, in need of help, assistance, and guidance. Someone's getting the axe here. They want a hand elevating in life. Bull crap. Climbing towards success. They're not going to climb on your back, okay? Purse, pay attention to your finances because they sure are. You're paying attention to your finances. Club, they could be part of a club. Someone will try to make you do something against your will. And nest, an emotionally secure, loving family is important to you. This club, these people could be like family, or there's family members in there. Well, family wishes coming true. Fair woman, you or them. Staff. This is a cane. You will be taken care of in difficult times. So somebody in the equation thinks no matter what, they're going to be taken care of. They can lean on anybody here. These are obstacles to overcome. Heels, dark woman, dealings or relationship with a woman with dark complexion or hair. Desk, pay attention to your work because they're paying attention to your work. Okay, somebody's supporting them and or you're supporting them because you're working. Quill, get back to basics. They're going to have to get back to basics. They're going to pare down in life. You're getting your flowers, finally, happiness. And because you're happy and you're getting what's coming towards you, what's intended towards you, discord amongst friends and family because of the changes in their life and in yours. And this is going to be a lot of legal issues coming up, involvement with the law. Congratulations. So they're scrambling here. There's a rat. There's mice and rat here. Rats. When the cat's away, the mice will play. So they thought because they were doing it behind your back that you wouldn't know what was going on. Yeah, I think you already know. If you didn't, you damn well suspected it. And it's over for these people. I don't know. That's why I got the impression that somebody in this crowd wants to come to you and tell you the partial truth to exonerate themselves a little bit or sugarcoat their part in it to win you over. I can't tell you what to do, although it does sound like I am telling you what to do. Eh? This person hasn't changed, so just be leery of that. A lot of the times in these situations, there's no point in discussing anything with these people. Okay, meaning they're going to do what they're going to do anyways. They haven't changed at all. They're not willing to change. They think that you're naive and gullible yet again. Somebody could have been a widow or lost a loved one here, and they think that if they come to tell you the truth, you'll feel sorry for them. But you're too wise for this. That's an owl. There's something to do with a death, or they have to prepare their things. Maybe they're on the way out. I don't know. And they're going to come to you and say, I have nobody. I'm going to die alone. I have no money. I'm homeless. Well, I don't know if it's a lie or not to make you feel bad for them. So you take them in and provide for them and take care of them. I don't know. To me, it sounds like it's out of lies. For some of you, it might not be. I don't know. Do what you're called to do, what your heart tells you to do. Okay, I hope you like the reading. Until next time, take care.